I really think that we needed to have a plan moving forward. It was highly disappointing to not see that. I'm going to read an email that I got just last night, the only email that brought tears to my eyes, but it was really something. So this officer sends me this email. Thank you for what you've done for me personally and for this department. I've finally been hired after applying for 5 years, and I was ecstatic that it was under your command. Being an African-American male with you as my chief made the fact that I had served my country under the Honorable Barack Obama that much sweeter. And I remember meeting him. His name is Marcus Jones. He was doing temperature checks in the building, and we shook hands and we talked. A great young man, tall, stout, wonderful African-American man. And he is one of the people that will probably not keep a job here. And that, for me, I'm done. Can't do it.
So I'd point out a few things. Number one, it was the chief and I who stood in this very room and said that we thought a 50% cut with no plan was not feasible and not wise. And we proposed what we thought could be cut and transferred from the department after thinking about it and being thoughtful and based upon the chief's great experience. The council took a different route. They promised a 50% cut, and yesterday they couldn't deliver because they found out what the chief and I cautioned was it wasn't possible, it was unwise, and it needed greater thought. And in fact, the vast majority of what they passed yesterday was exactly what the chief and I proposed. The $3 million they added, it'd be one thing if they just added $3 million cut and said, Chief, exercise your charter duties. Do what you know how to do and manage against this. But instead, they wanted to micromanage and play mini police chief. Cut here, cut there, do this, do that. It showed a complete lack of respect and, frankly, a misunderstanding of how the department even operates.
The origins of the animus, I mean, why?
Again, you'll have to ask the council. I can't answer for them.
The council made to the rebalance budget were racist.
Yeah, I'm not using that harsh word. I would just say that I would like, obviously, I would like to move forward in a way, and I think Chief Diaz is the person to do that.
Hey, Chief Best, you referred to personal animus that you felt that the council has that is motivating some of this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you comment a little bit on what you perceive as the origin of that?
Well, I would say this. As the mayor pointed out, no other department head has arbitrarily had their salary cut, and the salary cut of every single member of their command staff. And while I said I'm not in it for the money, but it did seem punitive, and I was especially offended by the fact that they would even suggest that my command staff take a salary cut. We have the most diverse command staff in the country: black, white, Latino, Asian, male, female, sworn, civilian, PhDs, JDs, everyone. We have an incredible group of people that we've assembled. And to even consider not compensating them fairly was ridiculous. Illegal, by the way, but also ridiculous. And so how else am I supposed to feel? There's a whole room full of department heads in here.
What are the challenges of leading the SPD vein as a black woman?
Well, I think there's no police chief in the country that wouldn't say their job is challenging. And I think that there's some unique things that I bring to the job that help me and that probably work against me. Some told us we were under a consent decree, how terrible we thought it all was. But we worked through it, and we've come out with an organization that is just leaps and bounds upon what
you want. Why didn't you just stay on and do what you would do with the money that you were given?
Well, regardless of how that shakes out, it's going to likely result in some layoffs, and I just wasn't willing to go down that road. I didn't want to have this continuous back and forth. It was really important to me that we are able to move forward in a way that benefits everybody. I think, I have nothing to lose. I'm walking away. So I will tell you that it is so important to me that this organization and that this city has good leadership and that we're not political grandstanding and politics and all of that. You know, I'm done with that. I really want to see the city move forward and do things that are really based on thoughtful dialogue, thoughtful decision making. You know, what is the plan? Where are we going? How are we going to get there? And you can't do that in a vacuum. You just can't. So if I'm an inhibitor to that, I'm more than happy to move away. And I really do mean it. I have had so much fun and so many great people that I've met that really, I'm totally comfortable with where we are.
You're jovial at some point. It sounds like the council has defeated you and that you couldn't do the job anymore. Can you explain?
Yeah, that's all a matter of perspective and semantics. You know, everybody's going to categorize it the way they want to. But I stand before you. I'm just an honest broker telling the truth. You know, I really did self-reflection. I really felt like it was time. I thought I wanted to make sure that the department was in good hands and that we can move forward and start creating the dialogue that needs to occur so that we can have true public safety. We can re-envision how we're doing things. We can make sure that we're able to move forward. And I think we had kind of come to an impasse where that wasn't going to happen. That's not being defeated. I think that's leadership and that's being smart. You know, the definition of, you know, of crazy is keep doing the same thing over and over and think you're going to get a different result. I think we need to have fresh eyes, fresh leadership, and I'm very comfortable with where I am.
In their hearts is driving the decisions these council members are making.
You know, Brandy, I really can't answer that, to be honest with you. The best people to answer, you know, what the council is up to is the council. I mean, I would not be as arrogant or presumptuous as to put words in their mouth. I just really don't know. I think I just answered that. But I'm happy to say it again and repeat. This is not about the money, and it certainly isn't about, you know, the demonstrators. I mean, be real. I have a lot thicker skin than that.
Towards your decision of retiring?
You know, that's a great question. I was really reflecting on the decision. There's a lot of things. It's a combination of things. I think it's been intimated that somehow it had something to do with the salary. But nobody joins the police department to get rich. I am grateful and humbled to have had the opportunity to serve as your chief. I know this department and this city is will have a well-deserved and well-respected SPD command team. We have one of the most diverse, well-educated, and experienced command teams in the country. Many of them are here right now. I thank you all for stepping up and being willing to serve our
How you can actually get to generational systemic change. Even in the midst of disagreement, I hope we can find common ground. I will admit, that's why it has been so mystifying to watch the City Council plow ahead without ever consulting her, talking to her, or listening to her pleas to be thoughtful. Not to set artificial targets, but instead to have a plan that focuses on duties, mission, and outcomes. And that's why it was both infuriating and deeply disappointing that the day after the chief stood in this room and criticized the council's approach, offered her own approach and vision, the very next day they voted to slash her salary and the salaries of her whole team.